fuck it, then it's over, bring my shit back.
Alright, so it's KookUp here, and today we'll be breaking down the HO4ME song by DJ Drama featuring Lil Baby and A Boogie with a hoodie. So the first part was Five, so let's go over to Five on how he made the starting idea for it.
So when I made the starter for HO4ME, it was pretty simple. I just added 2 main sounds and then a bunch of textures to complement them. So let's start off with this keyscape piano that I did. And then I stacked on that progression with a one-shot synth right here. So at this point, I felt like those 2 sounds weren't enough just to send out. I wanted to add a little more texture and a little more spice to them. So I took some textures out of a one-shot kit, and I came up with this so far. So I ended off this starter with just a perk loop that I found. So that was really all the idea was. I feel like I sent it like the same day to KookUp on Discord, and he finished it up and sent it back. And that's pretty much it.
Now, I like the idea, but I didn't really like the chord progression behind it. So luckily for Five, he sent me the MIDI so I could mess around with it myself, and this is what I came up with. So after I had the piano done, I started building around the idea. So I already had some of the counter melodies from Five Starter. I just threw them in there. So here you have the vocals, and at the end here, Five had like a little texture, and I left that in there to like transition between sections of the sample. So after I had the piano done in there, I had some Five's counter melodies. I went ahead and added my own vocals just to tie some of the melodies together. And you'll notice I kind of sing what Five sung or the vocals that Five had himself. So after I had everything done, I went ahead and added some guitar because I was hearing some guitar on the sample. It sounded super soulful, needed some guitar in there. So I went ahead and added that. And for the guitars, I made sure to use a lot of panning. Have one on the left, have one on the right, just so they're kind of bouncing off each other because I had 2 different counter melody lines in there. After doing all of that, the last step that was missing was just the bass line, so I went ahead and added a bass line. And I also added some variation in the second half of the bass, just so it doesn't stay stagnant all the way through the sample. I also made sure to add a little pickup note right at the start, just to make the drop hit a little harder. After that, I thought the sample was done. It had the piano, vocals, guitar, bass line, everything sounded good. But I was thinking to myself, if artists were to use this, piano's a little bit busy because it had a lot of licks and like harmonies in there. So I wanted to have like a calm part for the verse. So what I did is just went ahead and got this pad one shot and I copied over the MIDI from the piano and I simplified it a little bit just to make it a little bit easier for artists to hop on there. So I just stripped down all the chords, the harmonies that I added on top. Just made it really simple for them. And that was pretty much it for the sample. Let me just run it back from the beginning for y'all, and then I'll send it over to Kee and AJ on how they flip the beat.
Yo, what's good? I'm Tiki, and this is how I did the drums on HO4ME. So, to start off, Five sent this loop over that him and KookUp did. First thing I did was pitch the sample up 6. It originally sounded like this. but the pitched up feel just gave it a new feeling. So up 6 sounds like this. And then from there, I added this live hi-hat. It's just following the chords of the melody, just to give it a little bit of bounce. You can't really hear it that much in the final record, but it's more of a feel it more than hear it sort of thing. Just kind of gives it some bounce. So the hi-hat on this song sort of establishes the whole bounce along with the loop. It goes hand in hand with the loop to sort of capitalize upon the movement within the melody and then giving it space to shine, giving the loop space to shine, giving the artist space to shine. So then the hi-hat sort of established the bounce in the song. The loop already has a bunch of movement in it, and I just wanted to complement that with the hi-hats and create space. After that, we got the 808, super simple, following the root note of the melody. And a lot of producers struggle with finding the root notes. Just use FL keys. If you're on FL, pull up the loop and then play by ear the root note of the melody. So at this point, beat's almost done, at least this part of it. And so I just added a couple more things, added a little rim here to add some movement. And then the last thing I added was this open hi-hat just to complement the 808. And that's it. Those are all the drums I did on HO4ME. I did that and then sent it over to AJ. He did the second half, and yeah.
What's good? My name's AJ Run My Record, and this is how I did the arrangement and the little halftime breakdown for the HO4ME record. So we start off as just this piano for the first 8, and then the second 8, I have like the bass line coming in. So just the piano. With the guitar, and it's like, I don't know, it just, I always go by feeling, and it's just like that. When I heard that, it just made me feel special, and I was like, if it makes you feel special, then it's right. Like, don't overthink it, don't try to overcomplicate it. You know what I'm saying? Music is all about feeling. So after that, I put all the vocals in. The hook part of the record should always feel big. So that's where like the most instruments should come in. And then like this little vocal part KookUp and Five did was so hard. And I was like, I kind of wanted that to shine. I kind of play with Tiki's little open hat thing too. I think he did like 2 hits here. I cut one out just for the feeling. Oh yeah, I forgot about the crash, and I did like added a little cymbal, reverse cymbal going into the hook. There's like that delayed anticipation of like you expect the 808 to hit on the 1, but it doesn't, and it comes in like the second half of the phrase. It's so hard. So we get to the like verse, and then we drop everything out. Just a vibe. Like, see, I was playing around with like the different guitars and like bringing the bass in or whatever, but nothing felt right. So I just kept it like this, just. Then I love this like little slides on the guitar. I used it a lot, kind of like a FX, a way to introduce that a new section was coming. So we had the idea to just add this like little halftime section just for like variation, again, to make the record kind of go somewhere. So started off with this little rim. Just a rim, and I put like reverb on it and shit. I love this reverb in the smile, if you guys aren't on it. I just did like, then after that, I just did like a little hi-hat. And then a kick. kick, I just kind of had to play off bass. I was randomly at Generation Now, and they were like, yo, send beats for Drama's album. This is like one of the beats I sent, and it ended up coming out from me.
Money on my mind and she don't get that shit. My shirt was in around before the get back.